words, Door County and cherry strung together are almost a given. If you've ever driven the Door, you've seen the ubiquitous signs, pick your own, etc. It started at the end of the 19th century with just a few orchards, but by early 20th it took 230 rail cars to bring in the harvest. So what once was done by hand, now these huge mechanical pickers basically shake the tree. The loose cherries fall down, and then they're immediately run into a cold bath. That's what keeps them fresh, that's what keeps them firm, that's what keeps them sweet and tart. This was all done by hand. Imagine 10,000 acres throughout the Door. Now it's about 2,000, but still, it's an amazing enterprise. Grandpa Dale Seaquist, fourth generation cherry master. How are you?
Well, I'm doing just fine.
All right, so tell me about these wheels that are shaking the trees.
Okay, there's two wheels that revolve at a slightly different speed, and there's an off-center weight on each of those wheels. And I mean, it's quite heavy, 50 or 60 pounds each weight. So when those things vibrate, they cause the tree to vibrate one direction for an instant, and then it goes to another direction, and then it works all the way around so that all the limbs, each limb has its own frequency and needs to be shaken. So with that revolution, it shakes the whole tree.
So you're telling me that harvesting cherries is a musical act?
It's a little bit like a musical guitar.
I love it.
We harvest into these tanks in the orchard, and each tank can hold about 1,100 pounds of cherries, plus the water and so on that's in it. But they start with cold water in the tank in the orchard, and the water gradually flows out as they harvest. The cherries are brought up here and are cooled for a minimum of 4 hours before they're pitted. The cool water here causes the cherries to get hard.
Wow.
and they can get pitted easily.
I don't have to tell you this, but these are really good cherries.
Oh yeah, they're good.
They're so distinctive. There's a Door County flavor. You can argue with me that there isn't, but there is. There's a Door County cherry flavor.
Yeah, they got a strong flavor, all right. They're rather tart. We've got about 30 different varieties of cherries grown on our place. Most of them most of the varieties that we have are sweet cherries. We've got a couple Hungarian varieties, and these are Montmorency cherries right here.
So you got all these tanks, and they're chilling the cherries that came in from the orchard, and then they're going to get dumped in that thing. And I see that little sort of...
It's an elevator that elevates them up, and then they go through a belt that's oscillating. And eventually the cherries will turn so that the stem sticks up, and then the stem gets yanked off by a lawnmower blade.
Coup de grace.
Takes it right off. And then they go across an eliminator, which eliminates the real small cherries and stuff, and they get dumped back out in the orchard again. The good cherries continue on into the plant. The good cherries flow through, go up into the elevator that takes them up to the conveyor that divides them out to the different pitters. We've actually got 18 pitters in there. And each pitter gets its supply of cherries. It can pit about 1,100 pounds per hour, each pitter. And then the cherries, after they've come out of the pitter, they are scanned by electric eyes again. If the electric eyes say that, hey, there's a pit in there yet, then it gets puffed into a flume that takes it back and makes the circle around again.
The whole Monopoly trip again, do not collect 200.
The good cherries go on through and are eventually put into the containers that we're running 30-pound containers right now, and they're blended with 5 pounds of sugar into 25 pounds of cherries.
I mean, you guys are the epicenter of Wisconsin cherries. You guys grow the most, you process the most, you turn them into the most interesting things. You're essentially, Seaquist is cherries for Wisconsin.
Well, I don't know if you can stretch it quite that far. We're important in the cherry growing world here, and I guess we raise about 60% of the cherries grown in Wisconsin, but there's a lot of other growers too.
Yeah.
We are actually, used to be 700 growers here in Door County. And we raised up to 50 million pounds, but now there's only just a few of us left. And we raise about 60% of the cherries that are grown in the state here on our farm. Yeah.
So it's a true American story. I mean, your dad's dad started planting these trees, growing them, and then traveling around the region on a boat to sell the fruit.
My dad's grandfather.
Your dad's grandfather?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Even
My dad planted his first orchard in 1912. I planted my first orchard when I was a junior in high school. That's 1948 or so.
Well, Dale, thank you. You have a beautiful family. You have gorgeous orchards, but most importantly, you have delicious fruit.
Well, thank you. Thanks for stopping in. We appreciate you guys coming by.
It's your treasure in Wisconsin, and there's no trumping up of that. It's just, that's what you are.
Oh, thank you. I got a good family.
Yeah, yeah.